Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? This is your boy, Brian Kim. Just wanted to come here and talk a little bit about the, the new moon and Leo. So currently we have the sun and the moon in conjunction. And so we'll definitely be experiencing themes of royalty, regality, being reformed, brilliance, and matters of the heart. When we think of Leo, when it comes to the zodiac, Leo is the individualized expression of the divine. Seeing that we have two major luminaries, in the sign of Leo, the sun and the moon. We also have Mercury there as well. So this energy will affect our communication. But what was I getting at? Oh yeah, seeing that these two, the sun and the moon, are both in these signs, then we can definitely be on the lookout for these types of this type of energy and the themes that the Leo energy carries. I watch the Discovery Channel and different documentaries about lions. I'm a Leo myself. I'm a Leo. My birthday is in 2 days, and so I like to study the animals based off of their archetypes. The sign of the Leo is the lion, so I would check out these documentaries and watch these the Discovery Channel or anything that I catch on YouTube about lions and their behavior. And one thing that I picked up about the pride is the lion uses the new moon to their advantage. Seeing that a new moon is the most darkest of the phases, the lion uses this, they use this to their advantage to hunt and to feed. Because there is more darkness, they can be more stealthy. They can, be more successful at, capturing their prey. So I think there's something to keep in mind considering all this Leo energy, that we take this serious, or at least try to apply this to our lives, because this is a very, very beneficial time for us to grow. When we feed, we don't necessarily just feed our appetites, our appetites for food, but our appetites for truth, our appetites for knowledge, our appetites for expansion. So these are some things to consider, especially since we just had Lionsgate, that was August the 8th, and that's a whole nother video in itself, but that opened a portal, and I'm sure it revealed a lot of, it was like a revelation for a lot of people. Sure, a lot of people are experiencing, phenomena that they probably have never experienced before, or if they have, it's just been like amplified, and it's because of this portal, and it reveals things that need to die, and when there's a death, you know, there's a rebirth. You know, we don't always have to think of death as something that's, you know, bad, or, you know, like it's just the complete end, because it's not. You know, we are spirit, we are energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. You know, it can only be transferred. So we don't have to be so choked up when it comes to death. You know, life requires death. You know, or it requires death of many things. You know, things that don't serve us. You know, whether that be belief systems, or, you know, programming or conditioning. You know, some things need to die. You know, and so that things can be reborn. Another thing to keep in mind is, you know, the number 8. The Lion's Gate was on 8-8. And 8 represents balance, shifts, shifts and changes that bring balance. So to bring balance to your life, or to bring balance into your life, we could really look to Leo, with all this Leo energy going on how to achieve that balance. I think right now would be a great time to think of our childhood programming, in the regards to anything that may have caused us to hide ourselves. You know, Leo energy is about shining, about it's ruled by the sun, so it's brilliant, it's illuminates. You know, it's bright. So think of childhood programming that may have kept you from shining. You know, kept you from being bright. You know, kept you from stepping on a stage. Think of things that childhood programming, because Leo also represents the child, you know, and children, you know. So going back to our childhood programming, and this all comes back to the heart. You know, Leo also represents the heart space. When we go back to our childhood, conditioning and programming, and all that may have challenged us to be our authentic selves. You know, Leo is a very proud energy, you know, and, you know, Leo is very true to himself. Well, a Leo in the positive, on the positive aspect, you know, they're being their authentic selves. A Leo that isn't being authentic, you know, he's going to give himself away fairly quickly, because you know, in order to be proud, you need to be real. You know, you need to be honest, you need to be truthful. So I think we should also look to Aquarius, because that's on the opposite end of this, to think of how we can look, think of our futures, how we can, when we do change our childhood programming and our conditioning, you know, we can put ourselves in a position to have a different future than the ones that we are used to, or, you know, like the stories that we continue to play, you know, based on childhood programming and conditioning. You know, we look to Aquarius. Aquarius is a rebel. Aquarius wants to do things in a new way. It does not want to do things traditionally, you know, or have some type of routine. So Aquarius, we look to the Aquarius energy to guide us on picking up our crown, you know, and to wear it with integrity. That's what I was just talking about, you know, being your authentic self. You know, Leo represents royalty. You know, we usually talk about kings and ruling over people. But we also have to keep in mind that yes, a king may have others under him, but he is also very responsible to serve his people, and to be responsible for his people, and that also goes into like the Aquarius energy of the humanitarian, giving back to the collective. A king has a responsibility. It's not just about saying, "Oh, I have this crown on top of my head." It's not about that. And standing in like the positive, on the positive end of the Leo energy, you can be the king, but you also take responsibility for yourself and your people. You do things from a heart space. You operate from a heart space. And this makes me think about Beyonce and The Lion King. I actually just watched that Sunday for the first time, and it was phenomenal. But it really made me think about the whole story of The Lion King. The whole journey of Simba, being this king, well, being in line to the throne, and him losing his way, and him being able to come back to his birthright, which was to rule, which was to be a king. It also makes me think of Scar. How Scar he was also a lion, but he was very much operating in the negative light of the Leo energy, with the fact that he was jealous. He was comparing himself to someone else instead of being grateful for what it is that he had. At least he was in a royal family, but he wanted the throne himself. So he then, he basically killed his brother, and he guilt tripped Simba into thinking that he was guilty and he was responsible for his father's death. So, Simba ended up exiling himself. And that's another example of like Leo energy. Leos are very proud. And when we can't stand in our true power and our, in our birthright, what we were born to be, we want to hide, like exiling ourselves, because you can't be seen. You don't want to be seen in front of people when, you got your tail between your legs, so, that also made me think of this whole Leo energy. I just think this was a great reference to what's going on. And Simba had to, face himself and, go back home. It's about going back to this home space, which is the heart, the heart chakra. And overcoming whatever challenges that were presented to him in order for him to, step on his throne, because that was his birthright. And so I think this energy is really getting us to pick up our crowns, to walk in our royalty, and us feeling royal, and us knowing that we are royalty, knowing that we are to be held at a high regard, and it starts with self. It all starts with self. You're gonna have plenty of people out here trying to tell you what you are, what you ain't. If you know who you are, it doesn't matter what those people say to you. So it's really a great takeaway is self-acceptance and self-love. You know, it's very important that we love who we are. You know, we can't pick up a crown and put it on top of our heads and wear it proudly if we don't love who's wearing it. So it's very important for us to accept ourselves and to love ourselves and to use the darkness of this new moon, to which represents like the darkness within ourselves, exploring ourselves on a very deep level, to allow certain things to surface, back to the childhood programming and conditioning, things that make you, that challenge your self-love, that challenge your self-care, that challenge your self-acceptance. A lot of these things stem from our childhoods, our families, the friends that we grew up with. So, and at the end of the day, we're nothing but our childhoods. The love you didn't get, the understanding that you get, the emotional misunderstanding that was, in the household, those things play out in our adulthood. So we have to make sure that we nurture those parts of ourselves. We don't run away from them. And in nurturing ourselves, that is loving ourselves, that is caring for ourselves, and that is accepting ourselves for who we are and what we are, what we're here to do. It's very important for us to give gratitude. I'm grateful for coming on here. I tend to have a hard time just coming on here and just talking, because I do a lot better just when I'm by myself. And even though I am by myself, the fact that I have a camera in front of me just kind of makes me a bit nervous. And but you know what? I'm very grateful that I still came out here and was able to share this information and just share my thoughts on this whole on the planetary placements. It's very important that we pay attention to it. The fact that the moon is the closest thing to us, and the moon has an effect on our tides in the ocean, and the waves in the ocean, the water in the ocean. We definitely have to consider the fact that 70% of our bodies are made of water. So we're definitely being affected by these things. So, yeah. It's also a great time to have fun. Leo is a very playful energy. Have some fun, dance, create. It's a great time to create, to let your imagination run free. Your imagination, let it run like that of a child. Just think about yourself when you was a child. You used to think all kind of stuff, thinking that it was possible. We need to get back to that, and allowing our imagination to just run wild. And this is not a time to cage ourselves in, like I was just saying about Simba, and when he felt responsible for his father's death, he exiled himself, that represents like a cage. And right now is not the time for the lion to be in the cage. Right now is the time for the lion to be out and to be at home. The sun is in Leo right now. It's at home, so it's relaxed. It's it's itself. It's comfortable to be itself. So it's comfortable to be in its own skin. And that's something that we can learn from. Okay, I'm about to dip, so I'm gonna leave you with a couple mantras. I picked two, one for courage and one for creativity, because I feel like these are, this Leo energy is definitely asking us to be bold. It's asking us to be, to come from a loving heart space, you know, to be true, you know, to come from the heart. You know, they say when you come from the heart, that's like honest and true, you know, to be honest and true, you know. I feel like this energy is asking us to be playful, you know, to be like that of a child, you know. To play, to create, you know, to be on the stage and to know that you are rocking your role, you know. So these two mantras, one is for courage. Courage is, I give thanks to my higher self for giving the courage to do everything I need to walk my spirit's path. I give thanks to my higher self for giving me the courage to do everything I need to walk my spirit's path. And for creativity, I give thanks to the universe for providing me with an unlimited source of creativity. I give thanks to the universe for providing me with an unlimited source of creativity. So guys, my video on this energy of Leo and Sun. I mean, the sun and the moon being in the sign of Leo. I'll check y'all out another time and catch y'all later. Bye.